How's it going, everyone? So previously we looked at the running back position, so mainly AJ Dillon. And in this one, we are going to look at the tight ends. And this is kind of why I've started just grouping them by position instead of player by player. So at the tight end position, we have two unrestricted free agents. First one, Josiah Deguara, and the second one, Tyler Davis. So first off, Josiah Deguara was a 2020 pick in the third round and has pretty much done nothing for the Packers squad overall. And so for his role in this offense, he was more towards a fullback / H-back type of tight end. And well, he didn't really do good in his role. So first starting off, pros. Why should we keep him? Well, there's really none. So this is why we're just going to do by position. Cons of resigning him: it takes up a roster spot. He adds no value to this team. We have Luke Musgrave and Tucker Kraft ahead of him. And I'm pretty sure Ben Sims is ahead of him at this rate. 3 rookie tight ends. And for his stats, as his career has kind of kept dwindling down over here in Green Bay. So in 2020, he had 2 games. He had 1 reception for 2 targets for 12 yards. 2021, he had 25 receptions for 245 yards. Then in 2022, it went down to 13 receptions and 114 yards. And then this year only had 8 receptions for 65 yards. And pretty much as years progressed, his role started diminishing. And you really didn't even notice when he was, like, there was no increase in productivity when he was on or off the field. Like, when he was off the field, it was fine. It was like nothing really changed and served no purpose. So at the end of the day, this one's kind of an easy one. The Packers aren't going to re-sign him and shouldn't re-sign him. He pretty much adds no value to this team. Now, moving on to the second tight end that we have as an unrestricted free agent, that's Tyler Davis. And this one's going to be a little bit more interesting. So he did miss the entire 2023 season due to a torn ACL. Coaches were kind of talking him up during the offseason and during training camp. Then in the preseason towards ACL, we never found out how true those coaches were talking and if he was getting better. Now, we're moving on to 2024. He's pretty much a year removed, and the ACL is mostly healed. But now Luke Musgrave and Tucker Kraft have become the 1A and 1B tight end for this team. And Ben Sims has had his opportunities. So with Tyler Davis, it's not as clear-cut as it was with Josiah Deguara. So there are reasons to kind of keep Tyler Davis. And that's mainly for special teams and depth. So with Josiah Deguara leaving, which I assume he will be, having Tyler Davis could be depth piece for the 4th tight end. And that depends on where Ben Sims competes with Tyler Davis as well. And so he also has familiarity with this offense. Tight ends are kind of difficult to find in the draft, and usually they take a while. So having a familiar or a player that's familiar with offense can go a long way at the tight end position. He won't be expected to play a lot considering he'll be the 3rd or 4th string tight end, which also brings to the fact that he could contribute very much in the special teams department. Prior to 2023, he was probably our top special teams player in 2022, so he has a lot of value there. And on a cheap contract, especially since we are still trying to crunch our salary cap, there's not too much flexibility. There's flexibility, but we don't want to kick the can further down the road by adding void contracts to some players if we don't have to. So Tyler Davis could become a cheap contract, a good depth piece, and a pretty good special teams player for us. So I feel like that the Packers, considering it could be at a minimum 1-year deal, could re-sign Tyler Davis. And that's not to say he's going to make the team at the end of training camp and preseason in 2024. They could still sign him to a minimum 1-year deal, bring him back into camp, and, you know, as they add more players onto the 90-man roster, he could compete. And if he doesn't cut it, well, they'll just cut him, and it's no real loss. The market is not really going to be there for Tyler Davis. So this could be a win for the Packers, and he could shock us and provide some value, or we just end up cutting him. So at the end of the day, I feel like Josiah Deguara is guaranteed not to come back on this team. I don't see how he could. He provides no value. But Tyler Davis does add some value, and at a very cheap deal, especially a 1-year minimum type contract kind of deal, I think he could play a part on this team, especially in help the special teams, because special teams has still been struggling. But let me know what you think down in the comments. If you liked the video, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and as always, go Pack Go.